Yeah.
People are tired of the CG fest, the overly produced bullshit. And it's the same thing that we have seen with the mainstream media dying. And people would rather sit there and watch YouTubers from their spare bedrooms or their garages or their basements talk about important issues other than watching the overly produced bullshit from the mainstream media. So when something is authentic, you can feel it. It can connect with you. And I'm seeing that whether it's video games, whether it's movies, whether it's the Rippaverse, whatever is going on out there, people are connecting to more independent things that have authenticity behind it, or things that just aren't overly produced with CG bullshit. You know what I mean? Things that have love and care that goes into it. I'm seeing that things are shifting from that perspective. And I think that we're going to see more and more of it as you see creative people reach out there and branch out and do things.
I mean, it's the budgets have been out of control. I don't know what it is. Even if they're VFX, anything that you're doing, you're going to spend probably most of your fucking money doing all of that shit. Shit costs a lot of money to do. However, I don't, you look at some of these movies, it doesn't seem like they're that fucking killer to where that would be killing their budget. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. And we saw this, people that have kept up with the comic book industry. I'm just giving you some harsh realities. The numbers just don't make fucking sense. They never have, to be completely honest, but they don't make any fucking sense. They're spending $300 fucking million on that Marvel's film, and some of y'all actually went and saw it. I'm pretty sure your takeaway isn't that shit cost $300 million. There's no fucking way. So you have to ask yourself where the fucking money is going. And what happened is there was this pocket of time for Marvel in particular. I mean, if we want to make it unique to them, I think we kind of have to. They couldn't miss. And they were basically shitting out billion-dollar films. They got cocky. They figured we can just do that, and that's why they moved from that. Then you went into kind of some of the Eternal stuff, and they're spending all of this money on stuff that just isn't really getting a return. But what's happened is a lot of people, because it was really successful, flooded to be a part of this project, right? It was whether it was to advance their careers, whatever fucking reason that it was. And I think that's where a lot of the money's going. You see all these credits, all these fucking people that are part of it, producers and shit, they're getting fucking all of their cut. You want to call it money laundering? I don't know. Call it whatever the fuck it is that you want to call it. But Disney effectively, for a pocket of time, became Marvel the sugar daddy of everybody in the industry, which is why they had it. So it was one of those things. So now sugar daddy's fucking broke, right? And it's funny money. It's really all that. It's fucking funny money. It doesn't really cost that to make it happen, but it's costing that to make it happen. So at some point they're going to have to pivot. The industry itself is going to have to pivot, but nobody, this is where Marvel's fucked and Disney's fucked, because nobody's going to want that to happen. Because in order to do that, that means there's going to be less people, as to Mike put it, getting their hands in this fucking cookie jar. Nobody's going to walk away from that shit. Nobody wants to walk away from that. So you got to have less people and you're spending less money. That's something that I don't think they have the capacity. They don't have the people that are part of these companies that will want to turn around, because they stopped getting paid. So it's like they'd have to shoot the hand. Fuck Biden. They had to shoot their own fucking hand that essentially made them their sugar daddy. They're not going to do it. So when a lot of this entertainment stuff, I think Mike can speak to it a little more than me with film, but a lot of this entertainment shit is funny money, but a lot more of it is like optics. So when you see that as a regular Joe Blow and you're like, this shit doesn't make sense, trust me, it's because it doesn't make sense. It's not that you're fucking crazy. It's like, why are they spending 300? None of that it doesn't fucking make sense. It's the same thing that we deal with the comic book industry, which Marvel and DC, as of right now, is the sugar daddy for the entire fucking comic book industry. People are broke as fuck, and nobody knows why. I'm like, well, y'all living off the sugar daddy right now. If that sugar daddy wasn't attached to that mega corporation, none of you motherfuckers, well, I won't say none, a quarter of y'all would actually be able to even eat off the comic book industry. So, of course, it's in their best interest to keep that shit propped up. That's the same exact thing that's happening in Hollywood right now. It's a sugar daddy that they need to exist, that will maintain its prominence to be propped up, but it's fake. It's a paper tiger is exactly what it is. And at some point that shit's got to fall. And I think once it does fall, it's going to be very, very bad for the industry, not necessarily for folks like us, but there's going to be a lot of people out there fucking looking for jobs. I'm just being real with you. And they better be preparing themselves for it right now, because this shit ain't I know we rag on Marvel. I know I'm going on a tangent right now, but I know we rag on Marvel, but Marvel is not the only motherfucker struggling right now. Like Disney across the fucking board right now is laying duds. And some of these other fucking movie companies, we talked about Warner, are fucking struggling right now. They have a industry-wide fucking problem right now. And at some point, that shit's got to collapse. It has to. It cannot sustain itself. And it's going to be a lot of people out of fucking work. I'm just being completely honest. That shit is about as paper of a tiger as it can get.